These are problems 31 through 38 on SAT practice test number 2 and test prep corresponding to assignment 15. So you're going to have what I call dirt problems. And dirt problems are distance, rate, and time problems. So here we go. 75 is the distance, 30 miles per hour is the rate. Make sure your units are all good. You solve for 2.5 hours. So it will travel for 2.5 hours. How many minutes is that? So 60 minutes per hour, 2.5 times 60, 150 minutes. Problem 32, 2/5 of n is 48. So solve this for n. Multiply both sides by 5/2. 48 times 5/2, 120. What is 2/3 then of that? So 2/3 of 120, 240 over 3 is 80. What is the value of f of -3? I guarantee you they're trying to test your knowledge of calculator use on this. So are you going to use parentheses like you should? And you should. You can also enter this in your y equals and go to x equals -3 and check it out. 34, another dr, distance, rate, and time. Notice I solve for time here. Okay, bus A has an average speed of 20 miles per hour and bus B has an average speed of 15 miles per hour. If Cabby takes bus A for 3 miles and bus B for 6 miles, how many minutes does Cabby spend on 2 buses on his way to work? So Cabby, probably that's how you pronounce that. Goodness names. So we need time. So we have, let's see, miles per hour and miles. So our answer is going to ultimately be in hours. So we have to divide distance over rate. So 3 over 20 plus 6 over 15. This would be his total amount of time in hours. So you add, there are 2 different d over r's to add together. But you got to get focused in on distance, rate, and time. You add those 2 together, that's the hours, and then multiply by 60 minutes per hour, and that's his amount of time. 35, guess what? If you have me, you know that you can use your, although this doesn't always really work, but let's say you're in a situation where you just can't remember how this goes. You can always look for a solution, and a lot of times they do this. Look for a solution on your table. Now, it won't be on your table every time, but you don't have answer choices, so you want to subtract 1 over. You want to look for solutions. I'm going to make sure my table's set up right on your table. Oh, it's -1 is a solution, but they want positive values of x, and so we're not going anywhere in that direction. Let's see. So those errors are values of x that put a 0 in the denominator. Oh, there it is, 18. So I'm not saying that works every time, but a lot of times if you want solutions, you can do that. Here's the work. So you have to get a common denominator, or I actually multiplied both sides by a plus 2 times a minus 2. And it eliminated the denominator. Now that's a giant thought. What? You can multiply both sides by a plus 2 times a minus 2? Yes, you can. And it eliminates the a minus 2 over here, so you're left with just a plus 2. And it eliminates the a plus 2 here, you're left with a minus 2. And then you have it on the right side. And then you got lots of work to do. And it ends up being a quadratic, and then you have to factor that quadratic or find out where it equals 0. So 18 is the one. 36, we're figuring out the difference between the volume, the space that's left in this. So the box volume is 9 times 9 times 5. Okay, so you know this The cans are the diameter and the height of the company's constructing box with a square base and a height of 5 inches to hold 9 cans. So the height is 5, so I'm focusing on the box. So to hold 9 cans packed in, and you can get, so each diameter of each can is 3, so this makes this a 9 by 9 by 5 box. So that volume is 405. Then pi r squared h. So let me write these down. Where do you get these from? You can get these from your front page. Times width times height. There we go. Pi r squared h right there. You can get them, use them. And so then you have to do some computing. So there's 9 cans times pi times r squared. R is 1.5, not 3. The diameter is 3. So each of these is a 3. Let's do this. Let's put a line all the way through here. Each of those is 3, like you see on the top there. So R is 1.5. So you do that, then you take the difference, and it is 87. 37 and 38 are crazy questions. And so you have to understand the concept of this loan, actually several loans. So she took out a loan of $2,000 at the beginning of each year. And this is really important that you understand this. So she's taking $2,000 out every year. Okay, so what is Mia's total debt with an interest at the end of the 4th year? So you got to understand, first of all, that we're using A equals P times 1 plus R to the T power. That's what's going on. But she has all of these $2,000 loans, so there's 4 of them, because we're going through 4 years. So there's the first one she took out at the beginning of all of that. That's 4 years at a 4% interest. Then she takes another loan of $2,000 out the next year. So that goes for 3 years, and then another one, 2 years, and then one for 1 year. Okay, so basically she took out 4 loans. Now, she doesn't start to pay on this until 2 years after she graduates. So all of these exponents up here, put a 1 there, go up by 2 because she's waiting 2 more years. And then she pays a lump sum of $8,000 off. But still she's going to owe. So you got to do all this computing and subtract 8,000. So a simple idea right here, that's not hard, but made hard because you have to actually think about, what is this problem saying? It's saying she took out 4 loans of $2,000 at the beginning of each year, and there's 4% calculated on the total debt every year. So, and then she waits for 2 years after graduating to start repaying. So I would throw these 2 problems as more difficult for sure. All right, so that is the end of practice, SAT practice test number 2, the math with calculator section. You should definitely go through, the videos of your pre-test and look at several practice tests before you go in there, because I think the math can be some of the most challenging problems on this.